My name is Dio, and my heart was doing the shoki dance in my chest. For 2 whole weeks I had been chatting with Amara. Oh, Amara, she was wonderful. Her laugh on the phone sounded like the sweetest music. Her messages were so smart and funny. We finally decided to meet in person. This was happening, a real date. But as my excitement soared, my wallet sang a sad, empty song. I checked my bank app again, hoping for a miracle. The numbers were small, very small. How could I plan a special first date? How could I impress this amazing girl with just a few Naira notes to my name? I wanted her to see the real me, the fun Dio, not the broke Dio. The pressure felt heavy like a bag of cement. The worries started to pile up. Should I borrow money from my friend Tunde? No, his own pockets were not deep. I did not want to start our potential relationship with a lie, pretending to be someone I was not. What if she expected a fancy restaurant? What if she wanted to go to the cinema, where one ticket and a small popcorn cost a fortune? My mind raced with 100 what-ifs. Each thought was scarier than the last. I imagined her disappointed face. I pictured her telling her friends about the cheap guy she went on a date with. The thought made my stomach twist into a knot. I lay on my bed, staring at the ceiling, feeling a mix of pure joy and absolute terror. My mind kept flashing back to our conversations. Amara never seemed like the kind of girl who cared about expensive things. She loved art. She talked about nature. She once said that the best moments in life are the simple ones. Was she just saying that, or did she really mean it? I held on to that thought like a lifeline. Maybe, just maybe, I could create a beautiful experience without a family. Maybe the magic was not in the money, but in the effort. I decided to trust her words. I would trust her creativity. I would plan a date that was rich in thought, even if it was poor in cash. This was my only option. I stood up and walked to my small balcony, looking out at the bustling Lagos street below. The city was alive with energy, a mix of chaos and beauty. It was a city of dreamers and hustlers, and right now I was both. I was dreaming of a perfect date and hustling to make it happen with almost nothing. I took a deep breath. The air was thick with the smells of street food and exhaust fumes, but to me, it smelled like opportunity. I would not let my financial situation define this moment. I would give Amara a date that was fun, genuine, and completely unforgettable. I just needed the perfect plan. I sat down with a pen and a notepad. My goal was simple: maximum romance, minimum spending. The idea of a fancy restaurant was immediately crossed out. So was the cinema. I needed something different, something personal. Then it hit me. Ndubuisi Kanu Park in Ikeja. It was beautiful, spacious, and most importantly, the entrance fee was very low. It had lovely green lawns, beautiful flowers, and a calm atmosphere. It was the perfect setting for a real conversation, a place where we could get to know each other without shouting over loud music. It felt right. It felt like us, based on the person I was getting to know. But a park date needed more than just a park. I had to make it special. I decided to plan a picnic. Not just any picnic, but a Dio special picnic. I would make the food myself. My mother had taught me how to make the most delicious meat pies. I could also make some Zobo drink, chilled to perfection. It was personal. It showed effort. It was way better than buying overpriced food. I pictured us sitting on a blanket, laughing and eating the food I made just for her. The idea made me smile. This was so much better than a noisy, impersonal restaurant. This was a plan with a heart. To add another layer of fun, I thought about activities. Just sitting and talking was great, but I wanted to create memories. I remembered Amara saying she loved games. So I decided to bring a pack of playing cards. We could play Woot, a classic Nigerian card game. It was a great way to be playful and competitive in a friendly way. I also decided I would create a small treasure hunt. I would hide a few small, thoughtful things around our picnic spot, like a beautifully written poem, a funny caricature I would draw myself, and a single, perfect hibiscus flower. Each clue would lead to the next little surprise. The final piece of my plan was the most important: the conversation. I wanted to be present. I wanted to listen to her, really listen. I jotted down a few fun questions to ask, things that would go deeper than, "What do you do for work?" I wanted to know what made her happy, what her wildest dreams were, and what she was passionate about. The date was not about showing her how much money I had. It was about showing her who I was and being genuinely interested in who she was. My plan was set. It was simple, creative, and full of heart. I felt a new wave of confidence wash over me. I could do this. The morning of the date, my tiny kitchen was a storm of activity. Flour was everywhere. I carefully followed my mother's recipe for the meat pies, making sure the filling was juicy and the pastry was flaky. The smell filled my apartment and calmed my nerves. This was real. This was happening. I packed them carefully into a container. Next, I brewed a large pot of zobo, adding a hint of ginger and pineapple for extra flavor. As I poured the deep red drink into a flask, I felt a sense of pride. This was not just food and drink, this was my effort, my care, all packed into a basket for her. I felt like a true romantic hero. I got ready with extra care. I ironed my favorite Ankara shirt, the one with the bright blue and yellow patterns. It was not expensive, but it was vibrant, and it was me. I polished my best pair of sandals until they shone. As I looked in the mirror, I practiced my smile. "Hello, Amara, you look beautiful," I said to my reflection, trying to make it sound natural and not like I had practiced it 100 times. A small challenge appeared when I realized my old picnic blanket had a hole in it. For a moment, panic set in. But then I remembered the beautiful wrapper my grandmother had given me. It was perfect, colorful, clean, and full of good memories. My journey to the park was an adventure in itself. I carefully carried my picnic basket on the Danfo bus, protecting it from the chaotic bumps and shoves of the ride. Every pothole the bus hit made my heart jump. I imagined the zobo spilling or the meat pies getting crushed, but I held on tightly, my mission clear. When I finally arrived at Indubuisi Kanu Park, I felt a wave of relief. The sun was shining, the birds were singing, and the place looked even more beautiful than I remembered. I paid the small entrance fee and found the perfect spot under a large, shady tree. It was private, but also had a great view of the lawn. I laid out the wrapper, arranged the food, and set up my little treasure hunt clues. As I waited for Amara to arrive, the familiar butterflies returned to my stomach. What if she hated parks? What if she was allergic to meat pies? My mind started to race again with last-minute doubts. I took a deep breath and reminded myself of my plan. This date was a reflection of me, simple, thoughtful, and a little bit creative. I just had to hope that she would see the heart behind it. Then I saw her walking towards me, and she was even more beautiful than in her pictures. She was smiling. From the moment Amara sat down, everything felt right. Her smile was warm and genuine. "Wow, Dio, you did all this?" she asked, her eyes wide with surprise as she looked at the picnic setup. She loved the wrapper, saying it was much prettier than a regular blanket. We started with the meat pies, and she took her first bite. I held my breath. "Oh my goodness, these are the best meat pies I have ever tasted. Did you really make them?" she exclaimed. Relief washed over me like a cool breeze. We ate, we drank zobo, and we talked. We talked about everything and nothing, and the conversation flowed so easily, without any awkward pauses. The treasure hunt was a huge success. She laughed with delight at my silly caricature drawing of a superhero. She read the poem I wrote for her and said it was the sweetest thing anyone had ever done for her. When she found the final treasure, the single hibiscus flower, she gently tucked it behind her ear. Then we played Woot, and she was surprisingly competitive. Her playful teasing and triumphant shouts of "last card" made me laugh so hard. In that moment, surrounded by nature and her infectious joy, I completely forgot about my empty wallet. We were just two people connecting, sharing a perfect afternoon. The money didn't matter at all. As the sun began to set, painting the sky in beautiful shades of orange and purple, a comfortable silence fell between us. We just watched the colors change. I realized that I had not felt the need to impress her with money even once. The date was impressive because it was unique and personal. It was special because I had put my time and thought into it, and she appreciated it. She saw the effort and valued it far more than an expensive dinner. She saw me for who I was, and she seemed to like what she saw. It was the most wonderful feeling in the world. When it was time to leave, she gave me a warm hug. Dio, this was the best first date I have ever been on, she said softly, and I knew she meant it. It was so thoughtful and fun. Thank you. Walking home, my steps felt light. My wallet was still empty, but my heart was full. I had been so worried about what I could not give her, but I had ended up giving her something much more valuable, a genuine experience and a piece of my heart. I learned a powerful lesson that day. Romance is not about how much you spend. It is about how much you care. And on that sunny afternoon, I felt like the richest man in all of Lagos.